a mega session. So we have our friends from Canada and the US here today. So we have it covered. And
Woo!
everyone is here to see our friend Heather Kearns from the World of Hyatt Inclusive Collection. Hello, Heather.
Hello, Susan. I'm still just beaming over you inviting me to do this today.
Oh, well, you've got so many people on here wanting to see you and learn all about groups today, because I know that you are the groups expert for sure, for sure. And
Hey,
as much as we have you on today, we know that there's a whole sales team for the US and Canada as well. Um, and we're going to also have share their contacts a little bit later, which we know for sure. And we're live on Zoom and we're live on Facebook. So I just want to welcome everyone, all the spoiled agents, for joining us for this hour, whether it's over your coffee or over your lunch. I know that you're in for a real treat with Heather. And Heather, I just want to say you have been super, super generous because you brought a fabulous prize for one lucky spoiled agent. What is that?
we'll be giving away a 3-night stay for an advisor and a guest to, oh my gosh, I didn't write it down. Where am I giving it away to,
I can
Susan?
tell you for sure. So I have it here. So you've been super generous with a 3-night stay at the Dreams Playa Esmeralda Resort and Spa.
There's 75 resorts. I can't keep them all straight.
That's okay. That's okay. But in order to qualify, first of all, if you're joining us on Zoom, please, we have your email. So we've already got you registered, but you have to stay on the question period, everyone. You don't have to necessarily ask a question, okay? Because it's just Heather and I today to answer the questions, the Q&A box. And that's another tip. If you have any questions, please add them to the Q&A box. We're going to keep the chit chat, the hellos, I like to say the oohs and the ahs, to the chat box. And why only Q&A for questions, not the hellos? Because the chat box things move up and we want to make sure we answer all of your questions, right? Also, this session is being recorded. So we have actually just launched a brand new YouTube channel for our Spoiled Agent webinars. So later on today, it's going to be on your YouTube channel, and I'm going to pop on the link for you guys as well. So not to worry for that. And it's going to be on Facebook. It's going to be on Heather's page as well, because on US and Canada, under spoiledagent.com, go down the hotel tabs and hit the inclusive collection, and boom, it's going to be there. Okay. Along with all the other ones, right, Heather?
Oh, as a matter of fact, I was going to give a shout out to Brian's webinar from
Yes.
September 4th because having 75 resorts in our collection means that could be a lot of talking just about the resort brands. And so rather than drive home all of the things that either you may already know or are just resort centric, I'm going to invite you to go into the Spoiled Agent saved webinars to see Brian's September 4th webinar, which goes over all the resort brands, what was new in 2024, what's coming up for 2025. And then I will focus this entire time on groups.
Great. And groups is a great niche. So I know you're going to tell them all the ins and outs. So without further ado, Miss, I'm going to just close my screen here, but I'll be here until the end with you, of course. And again, welcome everyone. And thank you so much, Heather. You do a great job, and we love listening to you. You're a great presenter.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Let's get right to it. We have the World of Hyatt Inclusive Collection, and I'm going to focus on groups today, but I would be remiss if I didn't point out our World of Hyatt collection under the entire Hyatt umbrella. Our focus is the inclusive collection in the Latin Caribbean area. So that is the inclusive line right here. This lovely little Gaialua, it's a European resort and is absolutely available, but our focus is the Latin Caribbean area. And we also include Impression by Secrets, though it lives in the luxury line, and our adult only breathless resorts and spas, which lives in the lifestyle brand, but it's also an inclusive collection resort. Where do we live? Our focus is on the Latin Caribbean area. And if you take a look at this map, we are all over the east and west side of Mexico, There's a dozen plus two more coming in the Dominican. Oh, wait, 13 plus two more coming in the Dominican Republic. There's Saint Martin, Saint Lucia, Curacao. I'm going to let you take a screenshot of that so you can revisit it later. Groups and social stays that pay, because, hey, we want you to get paid. Let's talk about the two kinds of groups that we can have. One is MICE groups, which are contracted only, and those are meetings, incentives, corporate events. That means that you're probably working with somebody who is booking an entire group with a business. They're doing rewards for their corporation, that sort of thing. It's a very different animal. And so you're going to want to make sure that you specify with somebody that you're working with, is it a MICE group, or is it really and truly a social group where you can do flexible and contracted group bookings? The social groups do include weddings, families, friends, social gatherings, a group traveling with anything that's associated with a business or an organization will be reverted to a MICE group. So just a little something to be aware of when you're working with your clients. Just as someone who had, for 9 years prior to joining Hyatt's Inclusive Collection, I was a travel advisor and I specialized in groups only. And so I wanted to make sure I highlighted that point for you. Let's get into the perks. I'm going to start with our US friends, US advisors and Canadian advisors that book with US tour operators. This is for you. Comp rooms and upgrades have a high season, mid-season, and low season with Secrets, Breathless, Dreams, Hyatt Vivid, as well as Sunscape. If you take a look, you'll see every 10th room free, every 8th room free, every 6th room free. And of course, I'm blathering a bit to give you time to take a screenshot. But of course, this lives on the Confidant Collective as well. So if you take a screenshot and then it gets lost in your desktop, you can find it on our Confidant Collective. If you are booking Impression by Secrets, Secrets Impressions, Secrets Mokshay, and Zoetry, they need a little different amount of love in order for you to get your perks. Moving into the Canadian side, Canadians tend to work with our Canadian tour operators that bundle everything together in packages so that you're paying a Canadian price and it's, you know, your 7-night stay, as well as your round trip flight and your transfers all included. And so the perks work a little differently with the Canadian tour operators. And this one is every 6th or 11th passenger, depending on the time of year and the type of resort, complimentary, with a maximum of 6 complimentary per group. And then you've got complimentary upgrades. If you have enough rooms in the group booking, you can get a private check-in. If you submit the information to the resort in time, you can get your own group coordinator and discounts and resort coupons and all that sort of stuff. And I'm going to dive into the next slide to give you a little bit more detail about why it would be the 6th room or the 11th room, that sort of thing. Take a quick look here. It says tier 1, 1 complimentary passenger for every 5th paid. And again, we're still talking Canadian here. That complimentary has to be the 6th one. And I'm only stressing this because I kind of figure if people are coming in on groups, they maybe only just sold a few, or maybe they're brand new to them. So for those of you who have been longtime group sellers, you already know this. But if you get a complimentary passenger for every 5th paid, you need that 6th in order to allocate the complimentary credit back. And then on the US side, 1 complimentary room upgrade for every 6th room. And then the maximum that you can get is 6 rooms. Again, I'm kind of slowing down so you have time to take a screenshot, see if I can get my cursor out of the way. But the tier 1 resorts allocate it that way. And the tier 2 resorts are 1 complimentary passenger for every 10th paid. So the 11th passenger, and 1 complimentary room upgrade for every 11th room paid, etc., etc., etc. Eligible groups will receive the following. And again, this is more to give you information so that you can be proactive with your clients as you're rolling out. Okay, if you book with this property, this is what you're going to get, and so on and so forth. If you have any questions whatsoever, by all means, reach out to your BDM. And I'm going to show you where all of our BDMs are, depending on where you live, and even give you a QR code so you can go right to the page and find who your BDM is. And again, this is just a little bit more because I got ahead of myself and started blethering about how you can have a private check-in, you can get a group coordinator, you get 20% discount on the spa services. And for the tier 2 resorts, you can have a welcome cocktail hour for groups of 10 or more for a maximum of 30 people. And they will go above the 30 people. I've had a couple of situations where advisors have had like 36 or 40 or what have you. And the resort will work with the travel advisor and the lead passenger and say, oh, well, we can add those extra persons for this many dollars per person, that sort of thing. It gets it all sorted out. Some of the redemption requirements, you really have to communicate with the resort, and I'm going to give you some of the tools on how to do that. Of course, they live in our Confident Collective, and hopefully each and every one of you already has a profile and signed up with our Confident Collective and taken the learning. So this may be old hat with you, but I'm happy to draw some more attention to it. For 10 rooms or more, they need to be reported 60 days prior to the first arrival date. And the best way to do that is probably by using the rooming list that you work with your tour operator. If you're booking direct, you probably have a rooming list of your own. And as long as all the details are there, fantastic. For 9 rooms or less, you've got a little more leeway. Get that information into the resort 45 days before the first arrival date. And this is the information that you want to give them. Again, reach out to your BDM if you have any questions, but this is a fantastic slide to screenshot, because if you already have the lead passenger name, the room types, the booking date, the arrival date, the duration, the booking number is huge, then that way you are helping them to help you and get you set up for success so that your group just gets all of the perks that they can earn. Resort coupons. It's a good idea to give your guests a heads up. Say, yes, you do get $200 in resort coupons per room, not per person, per room. And that those resort coupons will, can be used in the following manner. You can put 100 towards spa treatment, $60 for romantic dining, $40 for wine purchases. Yes, you can purchase upgraded wine bottles. It's something that I think for me, I was experiencing as of 2016. There was just a demand for rate. We've got, an upper class resort, and we'd like to have these wines brought in. And the resorts got on board with that. And I said, yeah, we can accommodate that. And down below gives you a little bit more details as to how you can break down those coupons and what they can and cannot be used for. Things like you can't get your hair done with it. You can't buy spa creams with it. You can't charge your room credits to an outgoing telephone charge. Though with the inclusive resorts, you can call anywhere in Canada or the United States using the app anyways. Gift shop purposes. So it's just sort of things for people to be aware of so that they're not, running around spending money at the gift shop and then going, well, what do you mean I have to pay for that? What do you mean it doesn't work? I wanted to draw attention to ways that you can enhance your group stays. When you're going, yes, you've got a group and they can have, like obviously with the earnings per room or per person paid, depending on whether you're Canadian or American. There are also packages other than just weddings where you can, or your lead passenger can book to enhance their stay. And this epic birthday bash, if you were to take all of these things and map them out and price them out separately, And that would ended up being like about $900 USD. And for a party group of 10, for $699 USD, you can up level your birthday bash to all these incredible treats. I mean, what was the one that really caught me? Late night. Okay, not that I think I'm a late night person, but when I'm at a resort, somehow I get my second wind at around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And there is in this group, you can do a late night in room or bar party, tapas, desserts, and a bottle of sparkling wine. I mean, who doesn't like sparkling wine? Okay, some people may be more beer, but I like my sparkling wine. Pickleball courts. I figured this needed to have a slide all on its own. This is, I would say it's a live document. It probably more appropriate to say it's a constantly evolving and updating document. The pickleball craze is real and it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. And as the resorts are recognizing this and recognizing the clientele that wants to play pickleball while they're there are resorts in our collection that have real dedicated as well as shared courts with the tennis folks. Now, again, I promised that I wasn't going to dive into crazy amounts of detail of all of our different resort brands, but I thought I would touch on the resort brands that we have and which ones might fit your clients in terms of their most ideal group settings. And I'm going to start with Impression by Secrets. We currently have two of them, one on Isla Mujeres, and that's this image right here. The other one is at Mokshe, and they're two. I think this is a great opportunity for me to say these two resorts are absolutely fantastic, top of the line, elegance of the elegance, so to speak, but they're allowed to have their own personalities, and they absolutely do. Impression by Secrets Isla Mujeres is a little bit more solitude based and just unplugging to reconnect with whoever you're with. I would say the Impression resorts definitely have a strong couple feel. They're adults only, but on the occasions where I have been to Impressions by Secrets Mokshe, as well as Impression by Secrets Isla Mujeres, there have been at Isla Mujeres, it was a girls' getaway, just 5 gals, and they had 4 nights there. They went on a golf cart tour of Isla Mujeres, and then another morning they took the bicycles and went out on a bicycle tour. They took great advantage of the slide. Like, it was adult fun, but next level elegance. The type of person that this would be good for in terms of groups, I would say, are milestone birthdays. I'd say they're like smaller groups, like, the ladies at Isla Mujeres. There was just 5 of them. When I was at Secrets Mokshe, there was a group of 6 gals, and then there was 8 guys. They were on a golf trip, but Impression Mokshe was where they were living while they were doing all of their things. Okay, here's the slide. Impression by Secrets, Isla Mujeres, adult only resort. But this slide comes out of the 3rd story and swirls all the way down into that beautiful, calm, lovely harbor right down at the bottom. I cannot say I've done it yet myself, but it's on my bucket list. And over here, we've got the Impression by Secrets Mokshe. This one is a slightly different feel. Again, super elegant. You can absolutely have that very Zen feel if you like. But because it is right beside Secrets Mokshe, you can partake in all of the activities and all of the frivolities and all the fun that is available at Secrets Mokshe. They can't come see you because Impression by Secrets is boutique, and it's its own building, and it's got its own separate accesses and whatnot. But there is a disco within. You go through the pharmacy at Secrets Mokshe, which is, I don't know if you've ever been there, and maybe you've gone to the theater at Secrets Mokshe, and it's an awesome thing. You come out of the theater from the event that's going on. You come down the walkway, you're like, oh, I'm just going to pop into the pharmacy. No, you're not. You're going into the pharmacy, you give them the secret code, and then you go into this door, which leads you into a wicked disco. And then as you come out of the disco, I think it comes out through the washroom, but it's a different exit to the entrance, and it just really easy feel, even though it's a modern disco. Moving on to Zoetry, another one of our elegant, endless privileges, top of the line resort series. Zoetry is adult-centric, but children are allowed. And yes, I have seen them. They tend to be, I refer to them as the Velcro kids. They are there with mom and dad 24/7. It's that kind of family dynamic. It's also probably the kind of family dynamic where mom and dad bring the nanny with them for the kids. There are not children's rates, and there's no kids club. There's, don't have kids amenities there. This is the type of family that's looking for something that's boutique and elegant. And here you are looking at Zoetry Marigot Bay in St. Lucia. The type of client here, again, looking at boutique ideas, it is adult-centric. They're experiential. The idea is that you are immersing yourself into the mindset of the destination. And so if it happens to be a more laid-back destination, it's actually going to reflect in that resort at a high level. And fantastic opportunities here are wellness-based. But I would say Zoetry Agua in the Dominican Republic, I'm sure they all do, but Zoetry Agua has a little bit of, no, dare I say cheeky to it? It's just, yes, you want to come to relax. Yes, you have intentions, but you know what? You can have fun while you're doing that too. And I'm sure that exists at the other ones, but it was just something that I was able to witness firsthand when I was at Zoetry Agua this summer. And you can have weddings here. You could absolutely do golf trips here. This naturally lends itself to wellness and yoga and that type of serene and Zen setting. But like I said, with the opportunity to have as much fun as you want as well. And again, I spoke about it before the screen came up, so I'll let you take a screenshot of it, but I've already spoken to that you can do more than just yoga and spa. You can get into, fun. And yes, even the Zoetries have pickleball, but of course you can do yoga. And I would say each and every one of our properties has opportunities for yoga involved. And Zoetry Casa del Mar in Los Cabos has got their very own pickleball courts. Moving into the Secrets brand, very much adult only, 18 plus. This is a perfect setup for groups that are willing to pay to, I love children, but if you're going to this adult only resort, you are paying to not see them. And so if you are at a Secrets resort and spa, you must be 18 years of age in order to set foot on the property. And yes, it's adult romance centric, but I want to say that siblings, cousins, besties, pals, they are also very welcome here. And our bedding reflects that. If you go into the Confidant Collective under the product guides and you look for a particular resort, you can see even within the room categories, you're like, oh, I can get this room category with 2 beds. And I think that's a huge selling point for people that want to go to an adult only resort. But I got 2 besties. One I can absolutely flop down on a king bed with and have a good night's sleep and not worry about anything. And then my other girlfriend, she's a little more reserved. She likes her own bed. And I have no idea if it's because I toss and turn all night or if she just wants her own bed for privacy's sake. But Secrets, Breathless, all of our resorts have the opportunity to book 2 beds in different room categories. And where this makes it fantastic for groups is you can knock them out of the park weddings, These resorts are fantastically set up for yoga retreats. The spas in these resorts are fantastic. There's a number of them that are nestled right beside golf courses. If you are thinking about a group, Secrets has got you covered. And here's, like a real life picture of the pickleball courts at Secrets Tides, which just opened up last year. And then Secrets Playa Blanca can't be left out. And they've got, now this is a rendering, but it does exist in real life. And yes, you can play dedicated pickleball at Secrets Playa Blanca. I spoke about golf. Across all 75 resorts, they're all individually owned. And at this point, none of the owners of the resorts owns their own golf course. But what we can offer is transparency in terms of, and I'm not knocking anybody else down, but have we all been in that situation where we're like, oh, I'm going to this resort and golf is free, and then you book your tee time, and then you find out you have to book a golf cart, and you have to book a caddy, and you have to use their special golf clubs and whatnot. And so suddenly your free round of golf is costing you $150 to $200 US. Well, here with the Hyatt Inclusive Collection resorts, the concierge at each resort works with the golf courses neighboring them, wherein they have special rates, and you'll get a full transparent education on exactly what it's going to cost before you set foot. And so then your guests can arrive and be confident knowing what their investment is going to be to enjoy their golf rounds while in destination. Moving into Breathless. Live big, breathe deep. If I have one regret, it's that I did not pay enough attention to Breathless during my advisor life, because I thought Breathless was just for the young, sexy people. And considering I'm grandma age, I kind of thought that left me out of the equation, but it does not. Breathless is for the person who just wants to live. It is fun, outgoing, sociable adult life, but it's not spring break. This is real grown up. There is stuff going on in the daytime. Yes, you can be chill, you can be relaxed if you want to be in the Exhale Club. But if you want to be like high vibing, there is stuff to do there. If you just want to go with whatever the regular activities are going on, that can also happen. I would say this is akin to Miami meets Las Vegas. Do all the things during the day, you go back to your room, get showered. And I mean, other than regular dress code, there isn't a necessity for getting totally gussied up, but it just seems to be the trend. When I've stayed at a few Breathless now, and I was always like, why have I not been here sooner? And you go back to your room, you shower, you want to get dressed up for dinner. It's just fun. And then there's the activities in the plaza, which lead you into the theater, and from the theater to the disco. And I honestly thought of myself as that I'm a 9:30, 10 p.m. go to bed kind of gal. Twice now, I have closed the disco out of Breathless because it was just so much fun. I felt included, and it didn't feel awkward being a solo traveler. It was just, everybody was just there to have a good time and give you a cheers. I'm drawing a little bit of attention to Breathless, Cabo San Lucas, because here, when Cabo is known as a destination where, people, we always say to people, oh, you can't, it's not a swimmable beach. You can't swim at the beach. Here, you absolutely can. This couple to the left of the screen is literally 3 steps away from the steps that go up to the pool party area. And then the trio that's standing right at the edge, I had a group of 8 advisors, and we were in that water for a good 20 minutes. And it was just so soothing, cool water, not cold. It was refreshing. It was so much fun to be in Los Cabos and literally walk from the pool onto the beach, into the water, and be able to enjoy it. So 100% swimmable beach here. And this picture does not do Breathless Montego Bay justice. When I was at Breathless Montego Bay this summer, and they had the silent disco, I thought, well, I'll just take a peek. It was bumping. They were all in there. And of course, everybody said, hey, what are you listening to? What are you listening to? And the two DJs, it was like their magnum opus for the evening was to have everybody tuned into their music. And so the whole DJ battle was really fun to witness. Over at Breathless Riviera Cancun, we've got a more sprawling resort, and this is the energy pool. And then there's the accelerate pool. And this one has a unique situation where there's a boutique secrets on, I would say, like to the left of the screen. And so if you were wanting, something super zen and super quiet, you could book at Secrets Riviera Cancun. And because it's all preferred club at that Secrets, you would then have complete access to the Breathless side. So you can get into all of the shenanigans and fun that Breathless has to offer throughout the day. But if you are that type of person who likes to go to bed at 9:30, 10 o'clock, though I will say this is one of the Breathless resorts where I stayed till close at the disco because it was that much fun. I couldn't help it. I was like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I shouldn't have said that. But even at a vibe happening fun place like a Breathless, you can still get into your zen. Can you imagine waking up as the sun's coming up over Cabo San Lucas onto the rooftop, just getting your yoga on? Amazing. Another adult-only resort, Hyatt Vivid. We have one at the moment and another in the works of being built or created. Hyatt Vivid Grand Island is right by Cancun, and soon we are going to be announcing the opening of Hyatt Vivid Punta Cana. So you'll have one in Mexico and one in the Dominican Republic. Hyatt Vivid is for the adult who wants to check out of business life, but immerse themselves in the activities and the day-to-day offerings of the resort, and then feel compelled to share it on Instagram. This is what that kind of resort is. You've got cooking classes, little truck stops, and it's a little bit more laid back, casual, very much social groups, solo traveler, but absolutely super fun for weddings. If you ever get the chance to do a sound healing session, it is worth getting up. I think they usually run around 7:15 in the morning. So it is 100% worth getting up for, just to have just those tones resonate through your body. I can't explain it. You have to experience it. But Hyatt Vivid Grand Island is one of the resorts where you can experience something like that. And if you're into yoga, but you'd like to kick it up a notch and work on balance on the water, they've got paddleboard yoga. If you prefer not to balance on the water and just look at the water, you can go up to the rooftop and do yoga up there. But this is what I'm talking about when I said like adult activities that are engaging. This is a macrame class, a pottery class, things that you can get your hands busy with on a grown-up level. And then if you pack it carefully, you can put it in your suitcase and take it home with you. Moving on to one more adult-centric resort, Hyatt Zilara, adult only. In our collection, Hyatt Zilara is the resort that we manage. All the other Hyatt Zilaras are part of Playa Resorts. But we have this baby in our family, and I am very excited to share it with you. Hyatt Zilara is also adult only, adult social centric, fantastic for couples, but really sociable and solo traveler. I have seen when I was there in the summertime, couples literally draw somebody in, say, hey, where are you from? No, come hang out with us. It was really inclusive and very laid back and relaxed. But the restaurants there are fantastic. I was only there 2 nights, but I had 2 fabulous dinners each time. And again, it's not just social. You can set it up for romance. You can do your yoga. And the wedding team there is, I'm going to say it, they're amazeballs. And of course, we can absolutely do yoga as well. That boardwalk is really lovely. It sort of stretches along the length of the beach, and then that's just a little nice, quiet nook. But you could absolutely take a group down there and do a yoga morning. Moving into dreams, here's where we've got our family stuff. This is where all the generations can come together. And for weddings, this is probably your easiest go-to, because if you've ever worked with a wedding, chances are the bride and groom have got that one niece, nephew, or even one of their siblings who haven't quite reached the age of 18 yet. And dreams can give you the best of both worlds. If you go into our Confident Collective and check throughout the product guides, you can see within the room categories and within the layout of the resorts if there are resorts that have adult only areas, so that you can have, friends of the family who really and truly want to come to be a part of your group, but they just don't want to wake up in the morning hearing Paw Patrol while the little ones are running down the hallway. These are for families that want to connect. Excuse me, had a hiccup. But they also have spectacular kids clubs. It's apparently like pulling teeth to get the kids come home from the kids club, because they're having so much fun there, and they meet their own friends, and then you end up meeting their parents, and it's a great way to network and expand your friend reach in real life instead of just on social media. Fantastic resort for being nestled by golf courses, for family reunions. I mean, yes, you can do, just regular family groups, but we're talking about, groups here. And so I don't know what it's like in the States, but here in Canada, I have cousins literally across all the provinces. So the easiest way for us to get together is to all converge and meet up in destination. And then nobody's buying groceries, nobody's cooking food, nobody's making their own beds. They're all just kicking back together, relaxing. And our only challenge is, what are we doing that day? Some of the activities that you can get involved in at our Dreams Resorts is, if down in Costa Rica, you can do horseback riding, you can get an ATV excursion, you can go zip lining. And like I said, with the kids clubs, they do incredible and creative things. Things like the camping night, they have movie nights, they have nights where the kids are the stars. So imagine you finish dinner and you go out to the theater and it's the kids that are starting the show. They're the opening act. It is just, it's so cool. You get all these videos of parents sharing, there's my kid singing up on stage. It's so awesome. You can also go horseback riding down in Los Cabos. As a matter of fact, there's a number of our resorts that offer horseback riding. And off the top of my head, I can't name them because there's like 3 or 4 that come to mind. But I'm probably better to check with the product guide so I don't spout my mouth off and say a resort that's perhaps a mistake. Bocce ball. Here we are. And of course, I picked this one because at Dreams Curacao, Il Mare, these little white cubes, they are the adult-only preferred club rooms on the property. And they just opened up December 12th, and they're available for booking. And here's a place where you can book Dreams for your group, but the Il Mare section is adults only. So the adults can go there and they can still hang out with the kids, but they can also have their own adult only oasis. Dreams Los Cabos. You know what, we keep talking about pickleball, and I feel like the tennis people are being left out. So we also do have tennis. Pickleball hasn't completely taken over the courts. Sometimes they share, but there are resorts that actually, specifically have tennis as well, just to, keep the tennis players feeling like they haven't been left out in the cold. Over at Dreams Bahia Mita Surf and Spa Resort. You know what? I need a surfing photo from Dreams Bahia Mita. I'm gonna have to ask them for that. This, I'm not kidding. There is a surf club. This is the back of the resort, but if you were to go, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but if it travels all the way through there and it goes, over towards the beach, it's a fabulous surfing beach. And I've only surfed once in Hawaii, and I had a lot of fun, but I had a lot of salt water up my nose. So I think I'm gonna stick to paddleboard instead. And again, back to golf. Here we are in the Dreams Resorts. We've got Dreams Carabana, Cartagena, and Dreams Los Cabos. These are just a few of the resorts where you can, I know there's not a picture of the golf course, but I know Dreams Dominicus has La Estancia Golf Course, which is well known, stunning landscape, absolutely gorgeous. And the concierge team at Dreams Dominicus is absolutely fabulous as well. Dreams Vista Cancun is right beside a golf course, and absolutely you can have the concierge work with your clients to get them set up so that they can literally step out the resort and step onto the green. Dreams Playa Mojadas Golf and Spa Resort also has fantastic access to golf. And Dreams Estrella, you are going to have to reach out to the sales manager and concierge, because I don't know if the promo is still running, but I remember in October, they were doing a special that if you were staying for 7 nights, they have a special plan with the golf course that they waive the green fees. But again, double check with them on that, because I thought that was a fantastic deal. It sort of, people understand having to rent a golf cart or even having to have a caddy, but like there's a little bit of comfort knowing that somebody has like waived the green fee. And again, just other activities. Dream Sapphire is a Temescal, and the relaxation area that you're seeing is from the spa. When I was there in July, I was so tempted to go up to that beautiful pendulum, and I wanted to pull it out and see if it would make, like random designs in the sand, but I didn't want to ruin the candles. But if any one of you ever goes there and gets to, do a spa session, let me know if they let you do that. I just thought it would be very inappropriate of me to ask, but I was so dying to do it. I have never done beach yoga, and I think that is something I have to put on my bucket list, to just wake up in the morning and sit on the sand. What a true grounding experience, not even a yoga mat. I literally have to put that on my list. And, again, just because we have the Il Mare section over at Dreams Curacao, I have to let you know that you can do yoga just about anywhere. Sometimes they call it sun salutations. Sometimes they just call it stretching. I think the idea is to make it inclusive to everyone, because a person like me who likes the idea of yoga, but doesn't really know the poses, and if you say anything flow, I'm going to panic. But if you were to call it stretching or mobility or a sunrise salutation, then I'd be like, oh, I could probably keep up with that. And so I like how our resorts are very inclusive in that regard. Hyatt Ziva. In our collection, the Hyatt Ziva that's under our umbrella is Hyatt Ziva Riviera Cancun. And this is very family centric. And it's based on the type of family that likes to hang out together. You know how I mentioned the Velcro kid in Zoetry? It's kind of like that here. At least that's the feel I got when I stayed there. And they do have a fantastic kids club. And I could see that there were kids having a great time in the kids club. But I did notice here, they tend to be together. So when you're at the big main family pool, you see all the kids hanging out with their parents and just having a good old time. Oh, and there we go. I was talking about that already. But having said that, yes, very family centric, very centered on them, all being together, which is great because it means you've got all the generations. So family reunions, but again, golf, yoga, weddings, this wedding team, fabulous. And absolutely, there's lots of fun for the grown-ups too. And I love this palapa. What a great way to wake up in the morning. Sunscape, our last resort to chit chat about right now. is the unlimited fun one. So this is where you unlock the child in everyone, sorry, the kid in everyone. And the idea here is for, say, for example, weddings. The wedding couple themselves want a brag-worthy wedding, and wedding teams can absolutely knock that one out of the park, but they need a resort that is a little bit more budget friendly. So yes, absolutely, the rooms are going to be clean. The bed's going to get made every day. You're going to have your water restocked, but it's maybe not 24-hour room service, or you're going to have your mini fridge stocked on day one, but like I said, throughout the week you're just going to have the water and the juices repacked, as opposed to extra beers, etc., etc. But again, here at Sunscape, they got a fabulous kids club as well as core zone, so kids from 3 to 17 have got lots of fun to do throughout the day. And yep, talked about the weddings. This is, I want to give a shout out to Sunscape Dominicus La Romana. And again, when I was chatting about Dreams Dominicus La Romana, how close they were to the golf course, Sunscape is practically next door to Dreams Dominicus La Romana. So if you wanted a budget getaway, but you wanted to get out and play golf, I give Sunscape Dominicus a huge thumbs up for this one. And if you want to go diving, but you also, want to play tennis, or, there's so much to do on Cozumel. And at Cozumel, they've got this collection where you have Sunscape, Dreams, and Secrets on the same complex. So I think that would be a fantastic fit for somebody who wants to do a multi-getaway. You want to be careful because you want to make sure that the folks that absolutely have to be together everybody can migrate to where everybody can hang out, sort of thing. But Cozumel is an experience all on its own. What a different mindset. As soon as you set foot on the island, it's just exhale and no worries, and they've got solutions. And as you notice, I've been mentioning weddings throughout the resorts. But this guy, honestly, I could spend an hour on this all on its own, but I promise I won't. I know this is being recorded and you could probably grab screenshots, but I'm going to invite you to come back and review it and then fast forward to wherever you need to be. But first and foremost, I would say scan this QR code, because the Look of Love is a fantastic start for any advisor who wants to start the ball rolling with their couple, because it's going to dive into all the different destinations. It's going to talk about all the different resorts and their different personalities. There are no prices on it because with 75 different resorts, there are fluctuations in prices from time to time. But we do have wedding packages to get you started. Really and truly, though, the wedding teams at our resorts make handcrafted magical weddings. And I think this is a great launching point. If you've got a wedding couple who fits into these, then it's super easy for them, and hitting the easy button, one and done, you're good to go. But if you need to customize stuff, the wedding teams there, they've got the skills to do it. They're just jaw-dropping amazing. And then a couple of little extras. Lasting impression, that is, it just didn't fit on the other page. It's a fantastic wedding package for Impression by Secrets Resorts. Love at First Sight is a fantastic way for couples who really need to see the resort before they make a decision. And so if they're torn between, say, 2 Dreams and a Sunscape, or 2 Dreams and a Breathless, or whatever you have, you can set them up on a tour and they get a special rate to stay at the resort. And if that's the resort that they actually book at, they'll credit their investment back to their wedding package. So not free up front, but there's a credit for, making the commitment after having, done the Love at First Sight. Before I do bash, absolutely fabulous for actually any of our properties, but Breathless and Vivid, pretty much lend themselves to that perfectly. And because it wouldn't be a wedding explanation if I didn't have images. Here we go. That was this one and the one before are Dreams Aventuras. It's a smaller resort. There's about 300 or so rooms, but the creativity and the magic, and I'm not usually one to show ballrooms, but Dreams Aventuras ballroom has windows. So absolutely, if you've got somebody who needs to have air conditioning, but they'd like to see the ocean, this is the destination for them, 100%. Over in Dreams Flora, beautiful garden setup. And then right beside it, there's a fabulous deck. So this would be the reception, and there's an amazing deck where they'll just clear out all the tables and they will turn it into an actual wedding venue. And there it is. Here's me getting ahead of myself again. Get all excited and I forget to show the photo. And then down at Dreams Estrella del Mar in Mazatlan, this beautiful garden setup. So it's just, you can see the ocean, but not necessarily have the sand between your toes. And I'm pretty sure I have a picture of that arch, what you see in the background. Pretty sure I've got one close up. But Dreams Estrella, being that it's on a golf course, you don't want to have an ocean view, your decor is such that you just want to see green, you can have a golf view instead. This is at the Energy Plaza, and fantastic way to do a cocktail and move right into a dinner celebration. This is so cool. There's Dreams Estela del Mar Mazatlan, and ironically, I don't have a picture of Dreams Natura, and I wish I did, because these are two places where you can have cave celebrations, and they are just out of sight amazing. Oh, yes, there's the wedding arbor on the sand, and you can even, you got to be on the sand for a bit, but you can have that walking path so that the wedding couple aren't necessarily sinking into the sand while they're doing their vows. Here's where all of the materials really come into play. 10 top marketing series. Log into the Confident Collective. Go to resources. Drop down to marketing assets. And then here you're going to have a whole slew of 10 tops. How to make a splash, holiday moments, weddings, pickleball, golf. There's so many options, and it's a great way for you to either have it as a print for your clients or turn it into a digital, and it makes itself into a flip book. Speaking of the Confident Collective, this is the be all end all. This is what's going to make you look like a rock star to your clients. You sign into the Confident Collective and you do the educational trainings and you finish the learning, then there's extra webinars that you can get on to be a part of, and it's like everything. Like, are you a brand new advisor? We've got a webinar for that. Are you looking to specific weddings? We've got a webinar for that. And from there, once you've got all of that done and you're recording your bookings, you can have rewards. And our rewards program works much like an airline. You sign up, you do the training from 0 to 49, you are an investor. That's not a bad place to be. You get 1 point for every $2 in hotel revenue. But where the rubber really meets the road is by hitting the 50 to 249 room nights. And for those of you who are selling groups, you are honestly, you're going to hit 250, 499 in the icons at 500 or more room nights. I mean, that's not beyond the realm of possibility. Up here in Canada, you can fill your investor quotient with seven night stays. That's 49 room nights. Done. Now, usually in Canada, we do 15, 20 rooms at a time. So take 20 rooms, 7 nights, that's 140. It's 140 room nights. Suddenly you're an investor. That's just one group. So it can really add up. And what can you do with that? Well, I want you to book a stay so you can experience our resorts. But there is a myriad. There's literally a digital shopping mall of things that you can buy on the rewards site. Talking about tools, this is the bomb. You download World of Hyatt Inclusive Collection app, and it literally has every single one of our resorts. If you see the screen on the right, it says Dream Sands Cancun Resort and Spa. But say you're in the checkout line at the grocery store and somebody says, oh, I blah, 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 blah. You say, well, I just happen to have that information. You open up your phone, open up the app, tap that little door, go out of the resort, type out the name of the resort that you want to go to, and then boom, all this information. Hotel, accommodations, restaurants, bars, hotel map, room service. You scroll up that page and it's going to tell you what the activities are. Like how many times has somebody said to you, hey, when's White Night? When does Michael Jackson play? It's all on this app, and it'll give you a rundown of, oh, on Tuesday night, we're going to have the rock and roll show, stuff like that. We have a Facebook page. I'm going to give you a second to do a screenshot and scan the QR code so that you can join and be a part of our Facebook group, because we like to add things in there as extra material for you. But I promised, and I am showing the US sales team. I'll give you a second to do a screenshot. All across the US, from East, Midwest, West, our host accounts and the consortia and luxury brands, but also we got big hunkin' country. We got a small team. We are a mobile team. Scott's over on the West. Brian covers Ontario. Aurelbius has Quebec and into Eastern Canada. Carla La Ronzana is our luxury business development manager, and she has the Privé groups. And then I am the leisure groups business development manager for agencies and accounts in Canada that specifically just do groups. And if that's not enough, scan this QR code and you will get taken directly to the page where you can find out exactly where your BDM is. And they will, or you know what, you can always email me and I'll connect you. But I wanted to make sure that you had that tool to use. And with that in mind, I went far longer than I thought I was going to. Thank you so much for your time. I only see 28 questions. Is that possible?
Well, I was trying to help and answer some as you went. But I do want to say you did a great job, Heather. And I know people are like staying on right now. So you guys, if you have to go and start selling inclusive collection, you can go. Heather and I are going to stay on just for another few minutes. We're going to burn through these questions real quick, but we understand that you all want to get back to work to selling, and that's fair for sure. So not to worry, because your name is going to be entered into, of course, the draw for the 3-night stay. So not to worry. But Heather, we're going to get busy here now, miss, because we have a lot of questions on Facebook as well.
Okay.
All
So
right.
you want to shoot me a Facebook question?
Sure. So we're going to start with that quick. I'll read them out to you if that's okay. And we'll just do quick answers. So a lot of people are asking about the marketing materials. How can they access marketing material from you guys?
That is, where maybe I shouldn't have stopped sharing. Honestly, that could be a webinar in of itself. If you go onto the Confident Collective,
Okay.
and you've logged in, there should be a banner across the top. And then I believe it's closer to the right. It's funny, I'm at the stage where I just do it almost blind. I'm like, click, 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 and I go to wherever I need to go. But for the marketing materials, you want to click on resources, drop down to more resources, and then that'll take you into the social media site. Or no, social media is its own tab. Sources, more resources, and then you're going to scroll. And what the marketing team at Hyatt has done is set it up so that at the very outset, you see all of Hyatt Inclusive Collection stuff. And then you scroll up a little more and then you see resort brand specific stuff. And you can pick the resort brand you're looking for and say, ooh, I want to get more Dreams resources. So then you click onto more Dreams resources. And again, the first thing they want to do is they want to give you all of the Dreams logos so that you don't have to go hunting for them. And then you scroll down a little more and then you've got photos and then you've got videos. But where the real meat of the matter is in the product guides. And it's a working table of content. So for example, someone like me, I would pull up the product guide and I would immediately click onto the romance chapter, and it would take me down to like page 17. So from pages 17 to 23, it would have all of the wedding information.
Okay. Okay, guys. Oh, you guys are so good. A lot of them are saying they have to run. Not to worry, guys. We're going to continue with these questions. Like I said, if you have to go, your name has been entered in to win the draw. And if you get an email from Heather, it's really good news. Open it up because you might be going on vacation.
And you're taking me.
That's it, Heather, for sure. All right, here we go. Okay, so a lot of people are asking how they can check their status with the confidant and things like that. So that question is for you, Lily. There's a couple people that are asking about status and how they can check where they're at. If you don't mind just mentioning that.
That one's a super quick one. Log into the Confidant Collective, click onto rewards, scroll, and I think it's all the way down at the bottom, and it'll show you how many points you have and then what your status is. But if you're like, what's my status? Ask your BDM. That's what, like, honestly, what we're here for.
Okay. Tawanda is asking how many rooms are considered a group?
It depends on the tour operator. If you went back to, I think it was like slide 4, there was a minimum group requirement. Some of them require a minimum of 6 rooms double occupancy. Some of them require 10 rooms double occupancy. Every time you request a group quote, depending on the resort, depending on the tour operator, it's going to be a little different. But if you ever think that something's amiss and it doesn't look right to you, by all means, take that quote, forward it to your tour operator. You got it from the tour operator. Forward it to your BDM because they may be able to help you work through, that's what this tour operator, and I'm going to use Transat as an example because they were a go-to for me when I was an advisor. Transat went by the passenger. And that's because, well, they're including the flight. If you're booking just land only, those perks are just for the room. Transat's including the flight and the transfers. And depending on where your resort is, that transfer can add up. So that's why sometimes the tour operators will have something a little different than what you might expect. By all means, always send it off to your BDM if you need clarifications.
Okay, our friend Brian's on. Hi, Brian. If we requested a group quote with Sunscape and they offer a free room at 10 rooms rather than the 11th packs, should I be following up or could a tour operator have their own policy?
And that's pretty much it, right? If you did a direct one with Sunscape, that's going to be one set of perks. If you've done something with a tour operator, that's going to be a different set of perks. Because again, that other tour operator may be including air, maybe including transfers and whatnot. So it's a slightly different price point. So they want to make sure that they're not left holding the bag or having you being forced to do extra math at the end of the day once the master file is filled out.
And also, Brian's asking if there's an epic birthday bash, is it commissionable? Could it be applied to other events like bachelorettes?
Our packages are commissional 10% if I'm correct.
Okay, awesome. And if Brian also does DJing, if he wants to DJ at one of your resorts while he's on vacation there, is that possible?
I'm not going to come out and say no. What I would invite Brian to do is to reach out to the concierge and see if he can get connected to the entertainment team
Okay.
because nobody would go into Brian's bar and say, hey, dude, go take a break. I'm spinning a set. And there are some really good teams that actually work full time at the resort. But
Right.
if you worked in that you want to do a guest and or maybe even like work like a DJ battle with them or whatnot, that could go well. But I do know in some cases where people are like, well, I'm a DJ and I'm going to bring a bunch of people with me. And it's like, that's a nice group. Because now you're an organization.
Right. Brittany's asking, are the complimentary room upgrades done at the resort upon check-in? Is there anything the agent needs to do for Canada to secure this one for groups?
That is, again, depending on who you book with and how you book with. I can't remember what slide number it was, but it was like if you've got 9 rooms or more, you need to submit that to the resort. Uh-oh, my memory's fading. Was it 90 days or 70 days? But if it's 9 rooms or less, it's 45 days in advance. But so essentially, what my best practice was, when I hit final payment and everything was done and I sent it all off to the tour operator, I would use the built-in tour operator spreadsheet and say, I'm super excited. This group has achieved final payment, and the tour operator is working on final things. We don't have documents yet, but here's everybody as they appear. What can we do to proactively set them up for success on arrival? And in every occasion, I was always bowled over with how amazing they were. It also helps out the tour operator, because the tour operator has to send all that information over as well.
Right. Okay, we're going to move along here. We have quite a few questions to get through, guys. Okay, so Michelle is saying, is a lazy river pool heated?
Which
You know,
lazy river?
I'm not sure. Michelle on Facebook, if you want to let us know which hotel you're referring to. Okay, we're going to move on to Allison. Will a client receive all the perks even if booking through a tour operator like Classic or ALG?
And you know what? You guys are asking fantastic questions. Hopefully, the first set of questions that came through was a good overview for you. Anytime you're booking, if you're booking with a tour operator, take a good look at the terms and conditions and what they're offering for perks. Again, if it looks amiss, send it to your BDM, because your BDM is going to know the relationship from the tour operator to the resort and why it might not be exactly as it would look like if you're booking it direct.
Okay, and Brittany's asking if she wanted to have like a cocktail party, would it be requested through the group sales? Is it still involved as a wedding group, or would we go through the weddings department?
Weddings. And if you have a wedding group, try to do as much as you can through the weddings team, because sometimes things can get bundled in.
Yep.
Depending on the wedding package that they get and whatnot, like you could absolutely go through sales or go through group sales to, book a cocktail hour, but they're going to go with their regular, it's called the smart thing. For example, if I take a fan group out, it costs me, I think it's $40 a person for a cocktail hour, and that's in US. And I've noticed that, oftentimes my advisors are getting the same rates that I get. I'm like, I think that's pretty awesome that they're getting the staff rate to, give out to their groups to, have a cocktail hour, be private just for them. But if you've got a wedding group and you've got a wedding package that say includes something, then you really want to tie your wedding coordinator in with that.
Okay, so Melanie's asking, are the resort coupons available with Canadian packages as well?
Generally on check-in is when people receive the resort coupons. And what I did as an advisor is I always just did a proactive email, say, okay, you guys are going to get resort coupons. Please bear in mind that they're going to be for this, 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 and this. Don't try to buy gifts in the gift shop. Don't try to use long distance credits. Like that was the sort of feedback that I gave to my groups before I would send them out onto destination.
Okay. Lindsay's asking, but if I can answer. So this is shared on Facebook, guys, right now. It's on Canada. We're also going to be sharing on the US page in a little bit. It's also going to be on Heather's supplier page under spoiledagent.com. Just go down to hotels and pick inclusive collection. It's also going to be on our brand new YouTube channel, which we're also looking forward to. I'm going to pop that in the chat right now. And then we're going to keep moving on. So let's see here, guys. So a few people are asking for the opening date for St. Lucia.
It is scheduled for June. And I know that Brooke is saying, I keep hearing people saying November. I have not heard November yet. I'm hearing June. Now, the reason why they might be hearing November is because ideally it was November last year, but the owner of that resort is like next level fancy.
Yeah, yeah.
Every time he turns around, he's like, oh, no, tear it down. It's not gonna look like this. I'm like, okay.
Let's do this.
I know. You know what? That's a delay I can get behind because it means he cares.
Okay, so Tammy's asking, is there a plan to open Dreams in Jamaica?
In my dreams.
That's good.
I know. I'm with you. We should start a petition.
Someone's asking, when does Breathless Puerto Vallarta open?
I don't know. I do know that they are currently working on renovations with a previous resort that they have, decided that they want to move over to become a Breathless, but we have not yet been given an opening date.
Okay.
I was hoping to
Christina's
have done
asking,
it. Go
And
ahead.
sorry, Christine is asking any future plans for including scuba diving, dive centers with any resorts?
Cozumel. It's, like it's a natural scuba diving place. If there are resorts that are located near fantastic scuba diving locations, then I think reaching out to the concierge at that resort would be a great idea because they'll be able to let you know if they actually have a dive shop on property or if it's adjacent to the property or if they have a preferred partner that you can use.
Okay, so Lily's asking, is a beach swimmable at Dreams Bahia Mita?
I've been in it.
Okay, there we go.
It Bahia Mita is a surf location. I went in on a yellow day, but that's the former lifeguard in me just going, okay, I can sense it's not pulling very well. I was not very adventurous. And also Dreams Bahia Mita is a location where it's probably a good idea to have water shoes, but fantastic for surfing. Good question, Lily.
Okay, Chantel is asking, what is the commission paid on weddings with Dream Resorts?
10%.
10%. Okay. Um, so you had mentioned a lot of stuff like the pottery, healing yoga, things like that. Are those included?
Yes. At Hyatt Vivid Grand Island.
Yes.
Oh, sound ceremony might be, and I can't remember. I haven't done the sound ceremony at Hyatt Vivid Grand Island. I did one at Secrets Tulum. That was an extra, but I don't know if that was because we were a group, but they did a very individual and specific one. Like I literally was in cathartic healing tears from it. It was so perfect.
Oh, amazing. Sonia's asking, she's our little tennis guru. So
That's
she was
Sonia.
looking to know if you had a group that would fit her tennis group with more courts and not only courts that do not share with pickleball.
You know what? That's a good question. I kind of feel like the tennis folks are being pushed to the side sometime because the pickleball people are just so like, yeah, let us in. That is a good question for your BDM because different resorts are going to have different setups for tennis. And I don't know enough about tennis to be able to say, oh yeah, we got you on that. Because there's people who are like play, turf. There's so many variables, and I'm not qualified to speak on all those.
Okay, perfect. Let's see here. Okay, so Jennifer's asking, how do we set up the Love at First Sight trip? Is there a flyer for this?
Yes, there is in the Confident Collective. And what you would do is reach out with your wedding couple and talk to them about, the resort they want to go to. Reach out specifically to that resort. I would say email sales and weddings, maybe even reservations. And they are really good at offering like amazing rates. I was like, wait a minute, that's better than the agent rate.
Okay.
But hey, the idea is to get them to come back and book their wedding with you, right? So
Okay, so someone's asking, is there any update about the Saint Martin Secrets reopening?
it is open.
Okay, was it renovated or something or the
It
renos?
was, it was under renovate. Well, I don't know if it was actively being renovated, but I know it was closed for renovations for a long time. It opened, what was it? Was it January 12th? I know I love your glasses too.
Oh my gosh. And
I
Celine's
knew
just,
exactly when you did this. I was like,
thank you. Celine's asking, Heather, when we look at you for the first time, you look like Princess Sarah.
what's
Oh,
Princess Sarah?
UK,
Oh my gosh, that Princess Sarah?
the real deal.
I'm afraid I do not behave royal, not even a little bit.
Adresco's asking, which partner websites are great for booking Hyatt inclusive properties?
At partner websites in terms of tour operators,
Possibly, I believe, or direct.
I confess I was a tour. Whoop! I just opened something. I was a tour operator queen. I used our Canadian tour operators. I used direct on occasion, but I know that that's becoming more a thing as clients and particularly in Canada are embracing more of a shorter stay, and so that doesn't always fit with our Canadian tour operator turnarounds.
People are looking for maps and things like that. Do you guys have that?
Wow, you could have it in a few ways. You could go into the Confident Collective and the product guide and scroll down to the maps, or a super like Nintendo way to do it is really pick up your phone, open up Hyatt Inclusive Collection app, type in the resort that you're looking for, scroll down, and they have an interactive map right there.
Okay, that was for you, Sonia. I'm just going to go over to Facebook. Robin's asking on Facebook, will Dreams be updating their wedding packages anytime in the future? A lot of my brides want this new moody dark candlelit evening theme. Beautiful.
I honestly, if your couples can dream it and they have the appropriate budget for it, our wedding teams rise to the occasion each and every time. So if there's a resort that resonates with you in terms of personality, excuse me, by all means, reach out to your BDM and the weddings manager and say, hey, can you pull this off? And can we like take this package and modify it to that? They will let you know exactly what's up.
Oh, Brooke's saying those are really in right as well. I've never heard of them. That sounds awesome, though.
Like
Lisa's asking, do the points expire?
yes. So when I was an advisor, I like using the old AMR. I was an AMR master agent. I was in that site 3 times a week
Okay.
because it was where I pulled all my information. Now I made it look like it was the resorts that was giving the information because I'm not very good at bragging about myself. But also, I thought, like, honestly, the information is coming from the resort. So I would say, such and such has given me this, such and such has given me that. But I also was able to click into my rewards all the time. And I would, take from deposit release, I would start logging my booking. And then
Right.
at final payment, I would fine tune it and say, oh, well, this one canceled, but this one's come in, and so on and so forth. So every time people were going on departure day, I was able to review one more time to make sure that everything was accepted. And if not, I could forward it on to sales and say, hey, what's up with this room or this room? If it was a mistake on my part, then I would still have time to fix it. You
Okay.
accrue your points, and I know points expire, but because I was on the site so often as an advisor and I was a little shopaholic, I tended to use my points before there was one time it was during COVID, and nobody was going anywhere because I always like to use my points for stays. I did convert them, so that would have been November 2020. I converted a bunch of points to a virtual credit card.
Lisa's asking, how can she follow up with getting a wedding commission?
Okay, there's where the BDM comes into play. Check with your BDM. Ideally, have that email that you formulated. So, like the day of the wedding or the day after the wedding, you probably would have sent them your invoice and thanks so much for making magic. And to confirm this is the wedding package my couple had, and my expectation is the commission is this, and you send the form. If you can find that email, forward it to your BDM, copy the wedding manager in there, and then to say, I'm following up on this. So that gives your BDM a whole lot of information to be able to advocate on your behalf.
Oh, just a Guy on Facebook said he just got to stay at the Hyatt Santo Domingo last week for a night. It was beautiful. He loved it. Robin on Facebook says just also about her wedding question. Also, besides contacting each resort to get their wedding package information, what is another way to get it? This includes all the add-on prices, including decor, extra guests, things like that.
I feel you. And I totally get where you're coming from. But I've also come to recognize that in a company where all 75 resorts are owned individually, each wedding department really is its own animal. And so I think I know where she's coming from. Like, I would just love to have a Google sheet where I could go, oh, and this resort has this, and this resort has that, and this resort has the other thing. But because they're all so different, it does require a little bit of individualization and communicating individually with the resort.
Okay. Okay, no problem, Neil. Great. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Okay, someone's asking if we book with a Canadian tour operator, will the pricing automatically include the sixth or 11th passenger, depending on the tier, free in the price?
I'm guessing that you have gone and requested a group quote. And when you have that group quote come back to you, what you're going to see is, um, Oh man, I've forgotten. How am I so out of the loop after just 7 months? You get your group quote back per person based on, let's say, double occupancy. Below that is going to be, and is of course my memory is on the Transat stuff because I was a Transat gal. The memory is going for me is at the bottom there is tour operator concessions or passenger perks, and that is going to be laid out in there. It does not get rolled into the price. What happens is after everybody in that group, even the lead passenger, pays their product in full and gets on the plane, you send back to your group's manager at that tour operator and say, everybody's paid and got on the plane. Please refund this much money back to the lead passengers with credit card ending in 1234. And then they send it to accounting. Accounting takes care of it. And I would say about 3-4 days into their vacation, ka-ching, it hits their credit card.
Bobby Joe says it shows on every quote on the concessions.
There we go.
Perfect. Bobby Joe. All right. Okay, we're just gonna honestly go through these really quick, guys, because we've been quite a bit over and we really appreciate you sticking through with us. Okay, so how far ahead can we book a trip for ourselves to get a travel agent rate? Christina.
Good question. Chuck, ideally, depending on, high season, low season, if it's low season, you could probably do pretty well. Usually it's about 30 days out. But go onto the Confident Collective, go into travel agent booking, and then you get your travel agent rates, and the different resorts will show availability depending. And again, if you have any, hiccups or questions like, what does this all mean? Reach out to your BDM. It's literally what we are here for. We are here to help develop your business.
No problem. Okay, we don't have a date for St. Lucia. So far, you've only heard June, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So keep Michelle, just keep listening because you never know. Keep watching, keep checking because they open up. How soon do the points expire? James is asking.
18 months. Holy, I've got that one in 2 words.
That's good.
But also found on the Confident Collective. And also, if you go in and you go to your rewards and say, see my recorded bookings, and then click on your rewards, there is a section where I say, these are set to expire, these have this much time and that sort of stuff. So you can see where you're sitting.
All right. Dana's asking, sometimes she just wants to know how long it takes for the time frame to get the points approved.
That depends. Sometimes it can be same day, but if you don't have the points approved within a week and the group has departed, do a follow-up. I used to, poor Brian, I'd send it to Brian, but I would copy sales and just say, hello, my group has departed. Da, 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 da. This is not, marked as this yet. Can you please advise what I need to do? And sometimes it's just a glitch they need to fix, but great that you're following up on that.
Shamika's asking, are bookings automatically added or would we need to register the bookings? How long does it take to have that?
Okay, you do need to register your bookings. You have 30 days from the day the first person in the group departed. So if you've got multiple departure dates, that group has 30 days from, let's say, April 1st to April 30th to log that booking. And I've been on the receiving end of not making the 30-day window and lost 34 rooms once. And that's why I so adamantly, well, actually, I don't anymore, but I would so adamantly go in at deposit release and final payment to make sure I had my bookings logged.
Benita's asking, do you have any locations that offer over-the-water bungalows?
I'm thinking, I don't see anything in my head off the top.
Okay.
Not over the water bungalow just yet, I guess.
Lynette's asking, is Breathless Puerto Vallarta a new build or which hotel was it formerly? Wondering which beach it's on.
I'm not sure if I'm at liberty to say just yet. It is, I can say
Ooh.
it's not a new build. Well, just because I'm working on having been in destination. So I got a rumor from the people at Secrets Vallarta Bay. but just because they're talking about it doesn't necessarily mean that it's official. And so unless I actually hear it from Hyatt, because Hyatt is a publicly traded company, I can't really speak to it. But what I can share is there is an existing resort that is looking to become a breathless.
Okay, that's good tea. That's good tea. We'll take it.
Not very strong tea, but okay.
Just we're gonna take just a couple more questions, guys, and we have to wrap this up. Robin's asking on Facebook, will you have any wedding fams coming up soon?
I hope so. Ironically, I was supposed to be on a Teams meeting with my Canadian team, but I had to decline because I wasn't going to no-show on you guys. You guys, I had to be here for you. So I'm going to find out what's up as soon as I know when I've got wedding fams scheduled that I get to bring out. I will absolutely take out the word.
Okay, one last question. Someone's asking, booking through a tour operator for weddings, do we still qualify for the 10% commission of the wedding package?
Absolutely. I strongly advise when you're booking through a tour operator that you are the direct conduit between you and the client to connect with the resort. And the wedding team will take it from there. You don't have to, like, I often said to my couples, like, you do not want me picking charger plates. And just, put it out there. It's going to look like a kindergarten kid did it. Actually, I think a kindergarten kid would do a better job. But I always made sure I introduced my couple to the wedding coordinator, and I would fill in the form for them, and I would get them to, like the couple to do all of that sort of stuff. But I made sure I confirmed the wedding date, and that way I knew I was going to get the wedding commission.
All right, guys. Amazing, amazing. Heather, you did a fabulous job. You got lots of great comments. I'm going to send you over the chat box so you can read everything and the questions later on. But I want to thank you for joining us and your very generous gift today of a 3-night stay. And that is going to be at the Dreams Playa Esmeralda Resort and Spa. So you guys look out for that email in a couple days. We'll give you a few days, Heather, to get that organized. Great
Absolutely.
questions. You did a great job. You're an amazing ambassador for your brand, Heather. And we
Thank
love working with you and all of your team at the Inclusive Collection. And Spoiled Agents, thanks for hanging on, guys. You did a great job. And thank you for everything. And have a great day.
Thank you, all of you, so much. Susan, you're an amazing host. Advisors, you're like, I'm loving all the reactions on the screen.
Oh, wow. A truly exceptional training. That's what they're saying. I
What?
agree. I agree. Heather, you
And
did
you to my boss, Carolina.
wonderful, wonderful. You guys have a fabulous day. And thanks for everything, everyone. Bye,
Mwah.
Heather. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.